Hello, it's 9:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Technically 1 week since I started this 7-day challenge. I say technically because actually I'm calling this day 5. On Thursday, which should have been day 5, I had an all-day fun time magical mystery tour in a Japanese hospital, part of Ningen Dock, which means human docking, I guess. It's an annual checkup that you do in Japan. I could go into great detail about that, but I will spare you the details. But basically to say, it took all day. I was expecting it to just be in the morning, and I was there from 8 a.m. till, I don't know, didn't get out till about 4 p.m. and I was absolutely knackered. So that's my excuse, for not doing anything on Thursday. So I just thought I'd pause the novel challenge. It seemed unfair to have a whole day, because basically I'm writing the rules, I'm making the rules on this 7-day challenge. so I just ignored that day. I think it's fair enough, but I'm still continuing. Anyway, so today is Saturday morning, and I just got through a little writing sprint. I just added another 400 words to the manuscript. That took me 25 minutes. Basically, I've been doing 25-minute sprints as much as possible, so we call them sprints. Spend 25 minutes just typing frantically away on the keyboard, trying to add some words to the total. I'm looking down now. I started with 15,000 that I'd collated from the original first draft. I had 15,000 words, and now I'm on 17,097 words. Now you have to be a bit extreme in keeping track of the numbers, because it helps encourage you. And, you know, I can see that my pace is still extremely slow. I'm typing about on average about 300 words in 25 minutes. That's 600 words an hour. That's really slow, really. I should be up to at least 1,000. And not just from speed point of view, but from flow. If you get into the flow and start writing, it just makes, it becomes easier and better quality material. And if you're constantly stopping and starting, it's not that good. But I've had to go back to work on Friday, so I haven't had great wads of time. I'm just looking down at my file, in fact, for example. So let's see, I've just written down the times and at the end of a 25-minute sprint, and written down the total number of words. So, like, for example, Friday, yesterday, 9:29 a.m., 16,289 words. And then, so that was before I had to go off to work. And then at lunch, or after lunch, I've got written down 1:44 p.m., 16,475. Then at 7:55 p.m. after dinner, 16,693. These are very poor numbers. Today, anyway, I've written 400 words in 25 minutes, which is not bad. And if you can do that kind of a pace for 3 or 4, you need about 2,000 words a day. It's a reasonable amount to do reasonable quality, if you're not in a hurry to get it all done in 7 days. But I think I've kind of given up on the actual timing of it. So anyway, so there I was in the hospital, but it was a kind of a good thing. Not a good thing, but it's a nice, an unpleasant but necessary reminder of the fragility of life, of the impermanence of life. In other words, get your finger out and get this done. And it was a nice little reminder, we're not here forever. So, get on with what's important. You've got to prioritise the most important resource that we have, and that's time. So, without further ado, what else? What's helping me in this project is I've structured the novel along I guess it's the hero's journey, as most people seem to structure their novels recently. If you've got no better structure, might as well go with that one. I took it from Libby Hawker's Take Off Your Pants book. Don't pants, pantsing meaning don't just ad-lib your way through, have a plan. So that in writing circles, you're a pantser or a planner. I'm more of a planner than a pantser, but I might be better if I was more of a pantser. I'm sitting in my pants, actually. I haven't had my shower today. I just wanted to get some words done before I get on with the rest of the day. Too much information. Another thought that came to me was that what's so important about doing a first draft is you can't edit something that doesn't exist. Or if you change the metaphor, if you're like an artist, if you're a sculptor and you've got a big old stone, you have to start with a stone before you can chip away at it and get something that's beautiful. With words, with a book, you've got nothing. You've got to have the words on there before you can chip away at them and shape something beautiful. That's my pretentious moment for the day. Probably obvious stuff, but you have to tell yourself these things when you're writing. You think, oh, this isn't very good. Yeah, I know it's not very good. Get it written, and you can make it, you can shape it, you can polish it. I wouldn't say polish a turd, but you can't polish something that doesn't exist. So that's the thing you've got to get done with the first draft. And I keep telling myself, and one of the reasons for doing this 7-day challenge is to force myself to get the damn thing done. I'm getting there in a slow way. I've got to pick up the pace, but I'm getting there. And another thing that happens that I've noticed is as you get into the flow, I haven't had a chance to get much into the flow because I've had lots of stops and starts, but when you get into the flow, you start coming up, your brain makes connections naturally, and you start writing better than you did before, or you start making connections that you can't make when you're just planning. You have to sit down and start writing, and as you write, you think, oh, what about this, what about this? And even at the very word, letter level, interesting things can happen. So that's the good thing about having a plan. And by the way, here's my obsessive plan of all different things and different stages and in different, I still find writing it by hand is the best way. But anyway, enough of planning. I'm kind of trying to move into another mode of getting the subconscious going, and I've got the plan, so just write the damn thing. I know roughly what's going to happen in my head. I find this part sometimes a little tedious, which is a bit ridiculous, isn't it? But I like the planning. The actual doing it is where I have to really push myself. But once I get into it, good things can happen. Anyway, right, I'm going to get on with the rest of the day and squeeze in a few more sprints today, in amongst everything else. And I'll leave you to it. Talk to you again.